morning sunshine, rocking the good time with all our friends. Easy and carefree, out in the summer breeze, loving at several banks for hours on end. Right about sundown, we lay on the ground, count on the stars as they come out one at a time. Ain't this a sweet life?
Hey everybody, I'm X Factor winner Tate Stevens, and welcome to the Sweet Life Podcast, where we talk about everything from music, sports, food, entertainment, and, well, just living the sweet life. Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. Today's episode is going to be kind of cool, man. AJ and I have both been playing music pretty much our whole lives. I mean, at the end of the day, right? Mm-hmm. So today's just going to be a great stories day. We're just going to talk about being on the road and doing that thing out on the road, doing music on the road.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask all the time, they're like, hey, what is it like to be out on tour or out on the road, and how glamorous or non-glamorous that kind of thing gets? Well, we're going to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Like, when did you really start playing music out? Like high school, probably? When you went out, like, had your first out gig, like, it wasn't at church or it wasn't at your buddy's house.
I was going to say it would be the church band, but...
you know what I mean? Like, when did you go out on your first, oh my gosh, we're playing at the pizza joint, or whatever it is?
About, God, it had to have been 1 or 2 weeks after my high school graduation.
Oh, so you didn't go out and play out, like, you never went and played out at a
really,
gig?
Other than, I was the bass player in jazz band.
Well, right. I'm saying not with a high school band, but like with your buddies. Nope. You and your buddies just said, "Hey, let's go play at Mazzio's Pizza."
We'd go and play at somebody's basement,
right?
And hey, let's go over to the bass player's basement.
Jam.
He's got a drum set down there too. Let's go. So yeah, no.
Well, I mean, obviously, you know, I did the Opry shows in high school, right? So that was me kind of going out and playing live, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah, I guess that counts, right? At the little Opry shows around here. We had, obviously, Big Creek over in Pleasant Hill.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's the first time I ever saw, like, a show like that.
Yeah.
Daryl, my cousin, shout out to Daryl Cronk.
Daryl Cronk.
He took me over there. He's like, you got to hear this guitar player. It's like my buddy Tater. He sings over here too sometimes. Not singing this week, but here I'll take you over there, and you got to listen to Elijah freaking shred on that. He had the mullet and the. He
had the Gretsch then, or was he doing the Eddie Van Halen one?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like the Ernie Ball.
Yeah.
The yellow Ernie Ball, orange or whatever it was, and yeah. So that was my first like experience really seeing like real players play.
Right.
You know,
Right.
That weren't like these guys on the radio or anything, you know.
Yeah. Me too. I mean, that's kind of, I started doing the little Opry shows, obviously. And Elijah was a big part of that. Now, I played, so funny enough, so back in elementary school, I played drums, right? Mm-hmm. So me and Elijah obviously played guitar. I played drums. A buddy of mine, Rob Elkins, played banjo.
Oh, yeah.
And Richard, his brother, Pooch. Played tambourine. And that's our band. We were the SOS band. Sons of the South, right?
Oh boy.
Yes, sir. And
that's a dangerous band name to have anymore.
Oh, I know. Couldn't do it today. But yeah, we were Sons of the South, and Dad, of course, you know, had a band, Journey South, Sons of the South. Harley and my dad were in the band, so that's how we got the name. And they were playing at a bar one time, and we showed up because it was going to be like we're going to play on one of their sets. We had like 3 or 4 songs we knew, and we were going to be the you know, set band kind of, you know, when they took a little break, and it was mortifying. You know,
one of those things you're like super pumped to do it. But once you get up there, it's just like,
yeah, it was terrible. I couldn't dude. It was the worst thing ever. It was. We did the talent show at school, right? And we did okay, right? We had our little thing, and you know, I mean, yeah, I still have a little clipping from the talent show being in the paper, and I'm back behind my drums with my hands up with the sticks crossed, and whole bit, dude. whole bit, man.
Generic newbie drummer pose.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, it was so good. So good.
God, that's awesome.
And then that was our first and last outing. It was was at this little bar they played. I was so embarrassed. I didn't know I couldn't sing. Like I couldn't keep, like, my right foot just stopped working. Like there was literally kick drums sporadically in the, and my hands were doing okay, but my foot was not working and I couldn't sing. I was like squeaky and not, like I was so nervous and terrified that it just didn't work. We tried to play one song and it was over. My dad looked at me and he was like, gave me the, hey, get out and go. He was so mad, because it was terrible, Oh my God. And then we did good in the talent show at school, but other than that, we were done. The SOS band was one and done, for
You're
gigs.
about to say the SOB band.
Yeah. So that was my first outing. And then obviously high school, I kind of, I love to play the drums. I love playing them. It was fun. But I was in the back and I'm like, man, I want to be up front, and I'm not Night Ranger, so I can't push my kid up front. You know what I mean? So I kind of stopped playing the drums and I didn't play any instruments at all after that, really. I mean, I was just kind of like, I'm just going to sing, right? It wasn't until high school, like my maybe freshman or sophomore year in high school, was talking to a buddy in choir. He played guitar. I'm like, man, he was like, you play guitar or anything? And I'm like, no, I don't, so I played the drums, and then I guess I was like 10 or 11, and my dad got me a bass guitar because Dad played drums and bass. So I started learning to play bass, right? That lasted about a week, and I'm like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, this is the most boring thing I've ever done. I'm not playing this instrument, right? So that was my bass playing. It lasted about a week. So anyway, high school, I didn't really play anything, and so my buddy's like, hey, you should play guitar. Just get an acoustic guitar and play. It's not hard. I can help you. I'm like, oh, cool, right? So I went out. I found a cheap acoustic guitar. It was a Samick guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, cheap. It was electric acoustic, though, so I could plug that dude in and make some noise, right?
There you go.
And it made noise. That's pretty much all it did. and so I started trying to learn some chords, right? So I could just play along with my singing. And my dad was always like, hey, you need to learn to play something. You need to do something. You can't just stand up here and sing. That's not a thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, okay. I guess you're right. So
unless you're Mark Miller.
Yeah, or Neil McCoy. Yeah. Anyway, so I got a guitar and I started learning. And then Daryl, actually. So Daryl played guitar, and I'm like, awesome, you need to teach me how to play guitar. He's like, yeah, no worries, dude. So my senior year of high school, Daryl showing me chords, how to play different things. Like, hey, if you're playing in D, here's your 4 and here's your 5. If you're in A, here's your 4. You know what I mean? So he just kind of walked me through basic chord structures. Yeah. And I bought the Mel Bay chord chart thing, and I started playing. Started learning. Now I've always been like rhythmically, be playing drums. The rhythm part was easy. My right hand thing, I had the right hand down, right? It was just the left hand. I had no idea. It was like I was Ricky Bobby on the guitar. I had no idea what to do with my hands, right? Yeah, so it didn't, I mean, it was awful. It's still, I'm a terrible guitar player, but, it is what it is. But I could always keep rhythm really well. I could chunk rhythm and time perfectly, basically. I guess not perfectly. That's kind of
perfectly. Perfect rhythm.
Perfect. I'm perfect at rhythm. No, but anyway, so I started doing that, and then we actually started trying to get a band together. Me and Daryl and Rob and
Because Rob also plays drums.
Yeah, he played drums too. So he went from banjo and like learning acoustic guitar to playing the drums. So we just kind of switched, right? And Pooch said, I'm done. I'm not playing music anymore. I'm done. I'm just sports, and that's it. I'm done, right?
I've had enough of this tambourine.
Yeah, the damn tambourine gets heavy. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so we started putting a little band together, and started working up some songs. We were in my basement, you know what I mean? And we were working on some songs, and my God. But the whole time I was doing the little Opry shows, right? So this is like summertime maybe. Doing some Opry things, and no, I had just graduated. I know this is, but yeah, squirrel.
Riveting material.
It's riveting. It's amazing. No, I had just graduated, and I did a Opry show, and there was a band playing in Belton at the bowling alley, which was the Dixie Cadillac Band, right? Really great band, really great regional band. So this is kind of how I got started playing on the road. Literally, I went from in my basement with, 3 dudes playing, learning a few songs, and I went and watched this Dixie Cadillac Band, and I requested a couple songs. And it was getting late into the night. And we were like, hey, we're going to go. It's cool, and they were taking a break, their last break. And Kenny, the front man, guitar player.
Kenny Tuna.
What a name. Anyway, so he was like, guys, don't leave, we'll get to your requests. I'm like, all right, cool. So we sat there for another 20 or 30 minutes, and they start playing, and he was like, hey, the one song we know the music, but we don't really know all the words. Do you know them? Can you sing them? And I'm like, yeah, I can sing them. So as a band, the thing you don't do is get people up.
Yep.
And start the whole.
That's one question you never ask.
Yeah.
Can you sing it?
Yeah, because he just asked it, and I could see the faces of all the other guys in the band. They're like, damn it, here we go. Oh my God, why did you say anything? And it wasn't like I paid for the request, the song. But anyway, I get up and they're like, generally, if you just want to sing with the band, they're like, what key do you do it in? Most people are like, whatever it is on the radio or whatever, record key or whatever. Well, I'm like, it's in A. I do it in A. So they're like, okay, well, at least, hey, he knows that much, right?
Yeah.
So this could be really bad or just bad, right? And so we do the song, and I sing the song. And Kenny's like, hey, what's the other one let's do another one, dude. That was awesome. What do you know? I'm like, do you know this? Yeah, we know that one. What key do you do that in? Or, B flat or whatever it was, G. Oh, okay, cool. And they kicked off, and I sang like 2 or 3 songs with them. Well, then it was over. Then their night was over, and they were done playing for the weekend or whatever. So we were leaving. Kenny comes up. Dennis comes up. They're like, dude, you're really good. What do you do? You have a band? And I'm like, well, me and a couple buddies are trying to put one together, that kind of thing. And we started into this conversation, and they were like, hey, we have a gig coming up in a like a month that we need to be a 5-piece, because they were only 4-piece. We need to be a 5-piece band. We'll take you down there. We'll pay you, and if it goes well, who knows what'll happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was all excited. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, well, I'm in. So talking on the phone with Dennis, because Dennis was the band leader. It was his band. I mean, Dennis was Dennis Dressler. It was his band.
Was the drummer, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Played drums and was like I said, he was the band leader as far as, He did all the work, booking the shows, and he was like the spokesperson for the band, with all the agents and whatnot. And he had the van and trailer, he bought the van and trailer. Anyway, so
that's how you secure your spot in a band.
Absolutely.
I own the PA, so I can be a jerk if I want.
Yeah, yeah. So
not to say he was.
No,
never even
Dennis
met the guy, so I don't even know.
Dennis is a great guy. He's a great guy, and so anyway. It was funny. So, talking to Dennis, hey, give me a set list or a song list that all the songs that that you can sing backwards, if you need to, and keys. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I sent him 1,200 songs because I knew it's just that weird, but I sent him just 100 songs.
Yeah.
So he was like, I'll just go through them and I'll call you and we'll put you in the set list. Each set list, we have 4 sets. So each set, you're going to sing like 5 songs, 5 or 6 tunes, right? In each set. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Just let me know what I need to do. And they're like, we'll rehearse a couple times before we go. That way we're all on the same page. And do you play an instrument? And I'm like, well, yeah, I play acoustic. I play rhythm a little bit. I'm not a great player, and they're like, who cares? We don't even need you to play. You know what I mean? Just need you to sing some songs, right? I'm like, all right, great. I know they were really skeptical, John and Frank, and they were a little skeptical about bringing me in to even go do this gig, but they had to have a 5th piece, and they gave me like $250 for the weekend, but I didn't have any expenses. I mean, we rode in the van and we had hotel rooms and all that. I just had my food at whatever I ate. They were like, just don't tell anybody how old you are. Because I'm 19, right?
Yeah.
I just turned 19, and they're like, yeah, don't tell anybody that, because we don't even know if you're supposed to be in the bar, right?
Sure.
So this is we go. So we rehearse a few times, get everything as good as it's going to be, and I remember we were going to leave real early Friday morning and get there, set up, sound check, and play Friday night. So. I remember I was nervous, because I didn't really know him. I'd only met him like twice. We rehearsed twice, and then I'm on the road. We were in Clarksville, Tennessee, at the Red Roper, big nightclub.
Red Roper.
The Red Roper. There was a few of them around, and big clubs, big nightclubs. We get there, set up because we got all our own PA and lights and all this stuff, right? So we get there, we set up all, and this PA that we had was old.
Oh, sure. So it was twice as big as
and
anything.
Heavy,
yeah.
and it was, it sounded good, but it was just old, man, and so we load in, and like I said, the stage was big. I mean, the stage had probably 40 feet across the front. We set up sound check. We kind of go over the set a little bit, just through sound check, kind of working on some things that needed fixing and all that. Well, they said, hey, listen. We have a friend in Nashville, songwriter, producer guy. He's going to come up tomorrow night and watch the show and watch us, because we're thinking about recording some stuff and whatever, right? Because they had a little CD out that they'd made and recorded and everything, and so they were going to do that, but they wanted to go to Nashville and do it all, right? So anyway, I remember Friday night, man, my very first road gig. The Red Roper in Clarksville, Tennessee. Wow. We start, and it's a lot of people in this bar, right?
Sure.
And we're Star Stranglers, and you know what I mean. It's the whole bit. And, I get up there, and the first song. I didn't sing the first song. I sang the second song. The first set was kind of some of the worst material that we had. Because there wasn't, that's early. That's your early set. So you didn't really put your good stuff in the first set, or you put a song that you wanted to work on in the first set, you threw it in the fourth set too, just to do it again, right?
Sure.
If you wanted to.
Yeah.
So kind of one of those things. So Much Too Young was the very first song that I sang on the road, right? So Kenny kicks it off. Frank plays the fiddle. It goes through the whole thing, right? It's my turn to sing. I step up to the microphone and open my mouth. Nothing comes out. Nothing. It was just like nothing. So I back up and I look at Kenny, and I'm wide-eyed, just oh my god, I was just white, and he just smiled. He started the whole riff again, it started, and Frank's blind, okay?
Yeah. Oh,
so Frank's just kind of like,
big shout out to Frank Brown.
oh yeah, and Frank's like kind of looking like, like, well, what's going on? Well,
Did he leave?
Yeah, so Kenny kicks it off again, starts the intro again, and then Frank's like, oh, okay, he's getting ready again. So Kenny looks right at me, and he's got this huge smile, and he kind of turns his back a little bit to the crowd, and he said, "You better sing." And I stepped up when it was my time to sing, and I started singing.
There you go.
And that was it. And it was like that moment. It was. I remember that it's really vivid still. But he just had a big smile on his face, and he said, "You better sing."
Yeah.
And then he just turned his back, towards the drummer.
Yeah.
And just kept playing. And I stepped up and I started to sing, and then, it started to go, and then everything was good.
It's like the first time jumping off a diving board.
It's right.
Like,
you got to do it. Just jump on. Just do it, man, and get off. So, dove in both feet with me, and we finished that first set. And he comes up after our first set was over. He comes up and he said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I am now." And he was like, "Good. Don't ever do it again. Like, don't ever freeze like that again.
Mm-hmm.
Just relax and sing. You're good. Just relax, man.
Yep.
Have fun. This is fun. Music's fun." And from that day, after that weekend, we played Friday and Saturday night. I called my mom and dad after Friday night, and I said, "This is amazing. This is what I know now. This is what I want to do." And my dad, of course, played on the road and played music forever. And my dad was just like, "Oh my God, this is the worst thing for you," right?
Yeah.
And so I get home super jazzed up. I mean, I can't stop talking about the weekend, right?
Yep.
And I get a phone call, and Dennis is like, "Hey man, you want to be a Dixie Cadillac? Love to have you." And I thought, I was like, I don't know. And my dad said, "This is a really good opportunity for you to learn how to entertain people."
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they've been around for a long time. And so, I'm like, okay, I'm just a kid who knows nothing, just really green. And so, yeah, I'm going to go learn. So off I went. I'm a Dixie Cadillac now, and we're off on the road, right? So
that wasn't a bad first road trip.
No,
kind of a thing.
No. I mean, and it's kind of like anything. If you're surrounded by good guys, you know what I mean, then the experience is better. Now, if they were all jerks or whatever, or they weren't good musicians or something like that, then it'd have been worse and probably wouldn't have happened what happened after that, right?
Well, my first road story is kind of bittersweet. Had a gig, picked up a guitar gig playing with Drew Davis.
Okay.
That was my first time, like, traveling and playing.
Really?
Yeah.
Really, with Drew? That was it? That was the first one?
That was it.
Wow.
So, went and did that. Our first trip was to Chicago, play up at Ballydoyle's in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my God, Chicago, they have White Castle here. It's like, I want to go to White Castle. I want to go to White Castle, and I want to get some Chicago deep dish pizza.
Right, Geno's East. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like my two things. They didn't let me do either one. I was so mad.
Oh.
It's like I didn't get any White Castle, and I didn't get any deep dish pizza. Like,
I'm never doing this again.
Not happy right now.
This is the dumbest thing ever. So going out with Drew, and that was right after the Drew Davis band.
Yes.
That was Lauren and Mo and all those guys. So, yeah. Were you in the RV?
Oh yeah, took the RV all the way to Chicago.
I'm surprised it made it to Chicago. Oh, well, at least in the RV. See, like I started in a van, and it was I want to say our first van was a Dodge Caravan, like the big version. It wasn't the big turtle top though. It was just a normal big van. Had the plush velvet crushed velvet seats in it and stuff were in
classic.
So you slept and we took turns. So we took turns driving, and so whoever was driving, the next guy up was on the couch sleeping, right? I mean, we would go, like we would leave here. One of our shows, we were in Bad Axe, Michigan.
Holy moly!
It's like, I don't know, 18 hours from here, right? One way. We got there, we drove up to a fair in Bad Axe, and then got rained out. Kenny did a 15-minute stand-up comedy routine. I swear to God. Oh, I swear. And then we literally packed up our stuff and turned around and drove 10 hours to the next gig.
Yep.
And played, and then got in the van and drove another 8 hours to the next gig. It was like whoever was booking us didn't have a globe. They were just throwing darts at a map. They were like, let's put them here. Put them here. So, and that's how it was. So whoever was driving next was asleep on the couch, which,
so you could just rotate.
We're just rotating from, now, so I didn't like sleeping on the couch. It was too short. I'm not very tall, but it was too short for me, and it bounced back there because the weight of the trailer, everything. So you're just back there flopping around. So I just sat in one of the captain's chairs and reclined it all the way, and I would put like we'd always keep a cooler with water and stuff in there.
Put your feet up,
and I'd put my feet on the cooler. So I was
water,
tea and water and stuff like that. No, really, that's what we had in the van. Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we weren't drinking and driving. That's
gonna say, man, this is the '90s. This is like the
but it was for whoever was driving. So we didn't have to stop because you stop for fuel, or unless somebody had to poop. That was it. We weren't stopping.
So what about when it was Frank's turn to drive?
Yeah, Frank was co-pilot. Frank was a co-pilot all the time. Frank sat up front all the time. He blind from birth, and completely blind, can't see anything. But it was awesome. So when you were driving with Frank, he'd always have big headphones on, listening to talk radio or book on tapes. So we all started listening to book on tapes when we were driving. So
precursor to podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So he'd put it in. He'd put the cassette in, or the little CD thing with the converter into the thing, so we could all listen to it. And
I've heard stories of you guys getting Frank to drive.
Oh well, there's been a few times he can find his way. You're just a little to the left, Frank, a little more to the right. Brakes, that kind of thing. It happens. Yeah, Frank's all right. Yeah. As long as he's coached, he can drive fine. Yeah. He's okay if you're not going far or fast. So
he's a good wheel man.
Yeah,
good
wheel
man.
So anyway, yeah, Frank would he was our co-pilot. Sure. We could be anywhere in the country, and like, Frank, what's a good radio station? Where are we at? We're in San Antonio, or we're in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Like 104.9.
Wow.
And you turn it, and it was a station.
Yeah.
Like that actually worked, and you could hear me listen to music.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, okay, Frank, how do you know that? He was like, well, because I don't have anything else to do.
Sure.
So I find out when I'm listening to my radio, and I can remember that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all right, whatever, dude, that's crazy. So Frank was always one. Now, once he fell asleep, you were kind of on your own, and don't ever miss an exit because you're like, Frank, what'd that say? Sorry, I missed it. I'll catch the next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was hard, but oh yeah, Frankie was our co-pilot all the time. And scary story. This is one of our scary stories. One of many. We're driving home from North Dakota, Minot, North Dakota, right? And then it's like, I'll start driving. I'll get us halfway through South Dakota, and then I'll. And we just got in a plan. We'd been there for a week, and we had a jam on Sunday afternoon, so we couldn't leave until Sunday night to come home. Yeah, dude. Right. That was terrible. It's paying your dues for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so Dennis takes off driving, and you're in the middle of nowhere, North Dakota, South Dakota. There's nothing out there really anyway.
Yeah.
So and it's just miles of nothingness.
Oh yeah.
And so I said, "Are you good?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good." So I'm like, "All right, good." I put my coat over my face because it's dead of winter. Yeah, why were we up in North Dakota in the wintertime? I don't know.
Smart.
Yeah, when we pulled into Minot, we were literally, I'm like, what is that noise? Sitting next to us, snowmobiles on the road right next to us. They're driving on the road with us, so that kind of tells you where we're at, right? Yeah, anyway. So we're headed home. I fall asleep. I go to sleep, and I'm out. I mean, out. And I kind of wake up and look, and, it's still dark outside, and we're flying down the interstate. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm listening to him and, Dennis and Frank are talking. So everybody's, all right, cool. Everybody's asleep. Okay, good. Go back to sleep, a couple hours, wake up again. Well, I go back to sleep, and I wake up, and I look, and the sun's coming up. I mean, it's like morning.
Yeah.
And Frank's over there passed out. He's head bobbing. And then I look at Dennis, and Dennis is like focused, right? He's just driving. Well, it appears he's focused. But then I realize his head's down. He's asleep. 75 miles an hour.
Oh, my God.
On the interstate. Asleep. So I set up real quick, and I grabbed the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Because I don't want him to jerk and us fly off the road. So I hold on to the steering wheel, and I'm like, Dennis, wake up. Huh? And he's like, what happened? And I'm like, wake up, dude. He was like, oh, my God, how long have I been asleep? And I'm like, I don't know. I just woke up. I said, pull over right now. And it was like a mile or two, and there was an exit ramp. He pulls over. I'm like, get in the back, go to sleep, dude. I got us from here. I'll take us on into Kansas City. We're like,
I'm so freaking scared. I couldn't
dude,
sleep now if I wanted to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Wow. So that was
dude, that's no joke.
That was a scary time. It was a scary feeling, and who knows how long he'd been asleep. He could have just went to sleep, or he could have been asleep for miles.
Yeah,
because out there, luckily, there's nothing. But how did he stay on the road? You know what I mean? How did he? How was it? Yeah. Anyway,
well, I got one for you. Little post gig, asleep at the wheel type thing. So it's my first band. We played 2 4th of July shows in one day. We played one in town, and we played one at a buddy's house, like kind of outside the city limits.
Right.
And we decided after that, because it was like a Thursday or Friday or something, I was like, after that, we're going to take all of our gear down to Clinton, and I had the drummer with me, and I was just sitting there driving, and apparently I'm, nodding off a little bit here and there, and all of a sudden I feel like this hand in the back of my hair, like just rubbing the back of my head, and I'm like, oh! I'm like, dude, don't touch me. He goes, stay awake. I was like, oh, okay. Oh. So I was like, I see what you're doing, okay, Yeah. And so we're going along and whatever, and I do it like, 1 or 2 more times, and he keeps doing it. I'm like, oh, stop I'll be fine. Stop touching me.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get him back into town. I drop him off at his house. And at the time, 71 Highway had road construction going on. They had like the little stand-up things.
Oh, yeah.
Going down
the little plastic pylons.
Just all the way down the thing. So I'm driving north, and driving along. All of a sudden, I hear like this sound, and I get up, and I'm just mowing those things down, just going like right straight down the thing. I was just like, huh. Oh. By that time, I'm just like, wide awake. Couldn't go to sleep if I tried. But
wow.
Yeah, it was. I'm lucky I didn't hit anybody or run anybody off the road, but.
Absolutely. We were coming back from Dixie Cadillac Band again. Kenny's driving. We left. We knew there was a bad storm coming. Again, why are we in the upper Midwest playing in the wintertime? Why couldn't we be in the South playing in the wintertime? I don't know. But we're in Nebraska, in North Platte, Nebraska. So we're playing at this bar, and I believe it was the Oregon Trail, I think is the name of the bar. Yeah, it was just one of the many bars that you had to, and it was a circuit. I mean, everybody played there, but we knew there was a bad snowstorm coming.
Yeah.
So Kenny's like, "Hey, I'm gonna drive. I'll get us out of here." Dennis was like, "I'm really tired," and we're like, "All right, cool." It's like 40 degrees when we leave, right?
Yeah.
And no snow, 40 degrees. So we're cruising, flying 75, pulling a trailer. Probably not real safe, right? And we're making good time. Kenny's like, man, and then it's like rain, a little bit of mist, drizzle, rain, and then giant snowflakes, like the size of your hand. It's just like, and you can hear them hitting the van. And it's like, oh, wow. So we had to slow way down because you can't see. It's like a whiteout.
Yeah.
And these big tractor trailers are like flying by us, right? Because I guess they can see. I don't know. And then we're going like 50 now. And then we see the snow piling up on the road. Like we go from nothing, dry pavement, to a little bit of misty rain, to kind of a freezing rain drizzle, to these giant snowflakes, to we're in 4 feet of snow.
Yeah.
Within like less than an hour. It's the craziest thing ever. So we're going 25 miles an hour maybe, and all these tractor trailers that we've seen pass us, they're all off in the ditch, in the shoulder. And we're like, oh my God, Kenny's, we're all awake. Highway Patrol, they're shutting the roads down, right? You can't get on or off the highway. If you're on it, you're on it.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to get on, you can't because they're putting the barricades out. You can't get on the highway.
Wow.
Well, I'm watching headlights and stuff, we can see, and it's just like a wide out. Well, the van started to slide. So we start to slide a little bit, and then it kind of squares up a little bit, I think the weight of the trailer kind of helped a little bit, kind of keeping us square, or, I'm guessing. Well, then all of a sudden, we went from looking down the interstate, to looking at the median, to looking where we just came from, to squared up again driving. We spun around, did a complete 360 in the middle of the interstate, going 25 miles an hour in the van. Literally never went off the road. Just spun around, like did a 360 in the middle of the road, going 25, and kept going.
Wow.
And he's just white-knuckled. I mean, he never took his hands off the wheel, never hit the brakes, never hit just stayed exactly doing what he was doing. And no one said a word for a few minutes. And then Kenny was like, oh, yeah, I know you guys saw that. And we were like, oh, my God. So we get to Kearney, Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
Road's open. Exit's open. And we were like, get off here. Let's get off here, right? So we get off, and there's hotels and stuff right there off the interstate. So we pull up to one, and there's cars everywhere. There's literally people everywhere. We just, I don't know how we got a room.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got one. We pulled in and parked the van along the side of the road by the hotel and got out. Dennis ran in and was like, hey, is there any rooms available? And they're like, yeah, we got a double queen room. We got one left. He said, we'll take it. Do you have a rollaway? And they're like, yeah, we have a rollaway. And he was like, perfect. We'll take it. So we're like, we're stuck. So we all get in, call home. Hey, we're not going to make it home. Stuck in Nebraska, snow, whatever. We're going to try to get out in the morning.
Yeah.
So we go in. They had like a little at the hotel. They have a little diner kind of thing. They had a piano. So I said, Frank, let's have fun, man. Why not? And the little place, the little restaurant's packed with people, And so Frank goes and sits down at the piano and just starts playing the piano, grab acoustic guitars, starts singing. And did like a little impromptu show for everybody. And it was really cool. People, I guess, everybody was excited. They liked it and everything.
Yeah.
And it was fun, right? So the next morning, the crews had enough time to at least get some lanes cut to drive in. And we drive maybe, I don't even know, not even an hour outside of Kearney, and it's fine.
Fine.
It's 30 degrees, but there's very little snow.
That's crazy.
And we, pick it back up and we get home. But, yeah, man, I was like, there's been some times on the road where it's just so, you're fortunate enough to, like somebody was looking out for you, like Dennis falling asleep and Kenny driving in the snow. I mean,
I guess I got off pretty light.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I had to complain about was not getting White Castle. Oh, I got another one along those lines. So I can't remember what year it was. It's been 2 or 3 years ago. I played CMA Fest with Noe Palma, which we ought to get Noe on.
Yeah, we will. We'll do it.
Have him come on down. But anyway, I was playing with him and the guys down at like a showcase thing at I can't even remember where it was, Wild Horse or something.
Right.
Just anyway. We played up there, and they're like, all right, it's time to go. It's like, we're going to grab something to eat. And I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be awesome. There's a lot of, like, really good, famous places to eat in Nashville or whatever. And I'm like, hey, guys, let's go. I had my phone. I was like, let's go to, so-and-so.
Yeah.
Supposed to have real good chicken here, or if you guys want breakfast, this place has killer breakfast food and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to go over to Waffle House.
Oh.
I'm like,
come on, man.
Waffle House?
We can eat Waffle House at home.
No kidding.
Oh.
It's like, man, come on.
Well.
I picked the worst bands to play with as far as bunch of skinny dudes. And still, I'm a fat guy that wants to eat something good.
I want fried chicken, damn it.
Not from Waffle House.
Not from Waffle House. Man.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's funny stuff. That's good stuff. All right, guys, thanks for listening to this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed telling those stories, man. We got a ton of more road stories coming. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. YouTube now.
We
That's
just got
right.
a YouTube page.
That's right. So anyway, you can find us anywhere you can find podcasts. And make sure you, like I said, subscribe. Give us a 5-star rating. And leave us a review. I mean, it's cool when we get the cool, hey, guys, great job on Facebook and things like that. Love the podcast. Well, make sure you do that on our reviews, right? One of those on the reviews, whether you at Google or Apple or anyway.
Podcast,
Spotify, whatever. Leave them on there.
Wherever you can leave a review, leave a review.
Leave a review.
We actually have one new review.
All right.
It's entitled Free Entertainment.
Free Entertainment.
This is good stuff, fellas. I usually listen to some tunes at the gym, and I found this podcast has kept me entertained and laughing while getting a little sweat on. Keep them coming. From Coach Kronk.
Coach Kronk. Well, hey, awesome. Kind of a segue right into the next week because we're having Daryl Kronk on the show next week. So awesome. Well, thank you guys again. Remember, smash that subscribe button. Tell all your friends, all your neighbors' friends. Let's blow this thing up. We'll see you next time.
Ain't this a sweet life?
Hey guys, thanks for listening. Want to ask a question for a future episode? Well, hit us up on Facebook or Twitter with hashtag SweetLifePodcast. And be sure to give us a 5-star rating and hit that subscribe button. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to stay up to date on the latest news and information for the Sweet Life Podcast. And we'll see you next time.